Besties, you won't believe this. Sharon was sold to a poor old man, or so everyone thought. But wait, just 1 week later, she returns in a convoy of luxury cars, soldiers in uniform, staff bowing everywhere, and everyone who mocked her is left speechless. Trust me, you need to sit down and watch, because no one saw Sharon's life transformation coming. Let's dive into the full story together. The morning sun barely peeked over the horizon when Sharon was already awake, sweeping the dusty yard. Her back ached, her hands were raw from scrubbing clothes in the river yesterday, and her stomach grumbled from another meagre breakfast. Life had never been easy for Sharon, and today felt no different. Her stepmother's voice cut through the air like a whip. Sharon, get moving! Sweep properly! You're slower than a snail! Sharon bit her lip, trying to keep her tears back. She had long grown used to the endless chores, the insults, and the constant reminder that she was useless in her stepmother's eyes. "Why does she hate me so much?" she whispered under her breath, kneeling to scrub the floor. The walls were cracked, the roof leaked when it rained, and the house smelled of old wood and dust. Yet this was her home, the only home she'd ever known. Her younger stepsister skipped past her, laughing at some small thing, her hair shining, her clothes clean. Sharon's heart ached, knowing her stepmother favoured her daughter over her in every way. "Sharon!" Her stepmother screamed again. "Stop daydreaming and finish washing these clothes. You think the world will feed you while you sit there like a lazy girl?" Sharon gritted her teeth and obeyed, dipping her hands into the cold water. The river's current tugged at her sleeves, but she worked quietly, knowing any complaint would bring punishment. After finishing, she carried a heavy basket of firewood back to the house, balancing it on her head, careful not to drop a single stick. The sun beat down on her shoulders, but there was no time to rest. Even the neighbours whispered about her misfortune. "Poor girl, she does everything and still gets nothing. Her stepmother treats her worse than a servant. One day she might just break." Sharon smiled faintly at them, trying to hide the pain. She had learned long ago that hope was dangerous. It made disappointment hurt even more. Inside the house, her stepmother scolded her for the smallest mistakes. A spilled cup of water, a crooked broom, a tear rolling down her cheek, anything could set her off. "Look at you! You eat too much, you sleep too much, and you still manage to mess up everything," her stepmother hissed. "I don't know why I even keep you around." Sharon lowered her head and silently went about her chores. She cooked the sparse breakfast, cleaned the floors, and tended to the animals in the yard. She was tired, hungry, and lonely, but she was strong. Somehow, she kept going. As the day wore on, Sharon paused for a moment under the shade of a tree. She looked around at the broken roof, the cracked walls, and the barren yard. She whispered to herself, one day things will be different. I won't always be stuck like this." But deep down, Sharon knew that her stepmother controlled every part of her life. Every meal, every chore, every decision was dictated by someone else. Even her dreams felt stolen, trapped in the tiny house and the dusty village that held her prisoner. And yet, Sharon kept walking, kept working, kept surviving. Then one day, the sun had barely risen when Sharon started her chores again. She carried water from the river, swept the yard, and cooked the meagre breakfast. Each movement was automatic, her body tired but her mind alert, always careful not to anger her stepmother. Her stepmother, as usual, prowled the house like a hawk. "Sharon, hurry up with those chores," she barked. "I have transaction to make with you today." Sharon froze at the words. She had overheard such conversation before while her stepmother was discussing with her friend, but this time it sounded different, cold, serious, and final. Her heart thumped loudly in her chest. "Mama, please don't," she whispered, her hands shaking as she poured water for the dishes. Her stepmother smirked. "Oh, don't worry, my dear, you'll see soon enough. Someone wants a wife today. And you? Yes, you'll go to him." Sharon's stomach twisted. She dropped the cup, water spilling onto the floor. Her stepmother slapped her, then shoved her toward the door. "Get dressed! You have no say in this. Today, you leave this house." Sharon's legs trembled as she tried to run, but the stepmother's men appeared from nowhere, grabbing her roughly by the arms. Panic surged through her. "Let go of me! I don't want this! I'm not going!" she screamed, struggling violently, but they were too strong. The villagers, seeing the commotion, gathered around. Whispers ran through the crowd. Poor Sharon, her life is over. She's being sold like a goat. How would her stepmother give her to this kind of old man? She's too young to go to that man. Sharon's tears blurred her vision. She didn't even notice the old man waiting beside a rusty pickup. His face was calm, his eyes soft, his hands steady. He looked poor, helpless even, but there was something in him that made Sharon pause. "Sir, please, I've never done anything wrong," she cried. "Please don't take me." The old man nodded gently, offering her a small, calm smile. "Don't be afraid, my daughter. Please just be my wife, and I will make you happy." Sharon didn't understand. How could she trust a stranger in torn clothes, carrying only a walking stick? Everything she had known, her family, her village, her life, was crumbling in front of her eyes. The ride to the old man's home was long. Dust rose behind the pickup, and Sharon balanced her belongings on her head, trembling with fear and confusion. Every passing house, every whisper from the villagers, made her stomach churn. She wanted to scream, to run, but there was nowhere to go. Finally, they arrived at a tiny clearing where a small makeshift hut stood. Sharon's hope for understanding vanished. She looked at the old man, expecting cruelty, punishment, or mockery, but he only extended his hand. "Come," he said softly. "Don't worry, I will take care of you." Sharon felt a strange mix of fear and confusion. How could this poor, quiet man make her feel a hint of safety while her stepmother had just sold her like an object? The wedding was arranged hastily by the villagers. A priest, barely awake, muttered a few words, slipped a cheap ring on her finger, and declared her married. There was no celebration, no music, no food, just tears and shocked whispers. Her stepmother laughed mockingly. "Congratulations, you belong to him now!" Sharon felt her heart sink further. She wanted to cry, scream and run, but the old man held her hand firmly. "My daughter, don't worry. Everything will be fine," he said again. The pickup rattled through the village, and Sharon tried to comprehend what had just happened. The man beside her remained calm, silent, and strangely comforting. Hours passed, and the scenery began to change. The dusty village road disappeared, replaced by smooth highways. Luxury cars whizzed past. Soldiers in crisp uniforms saluted the pickup. Sharon's heart pounded faster than ever. "What? Where are we going?" she asked, trembling. "I think you are taking back to the hut. Who are you really?" The old man smiled softly. "Relax, my daughter. Soon you will understand everything." Finally, the pickup stopped in front of massive golden gates. Water fountains sparkled in the sunlight. Staff rushed out, bowing deeply. "Welcome back, Chief Williams," they said in unison. Sharon froze. The man she thought was poor removed his fake beard, white wig and wrinkles. He was not poor at all. He was powerful, wealthy and commanding. Sharon stumbled back, her mouth open. "What? You're not poor?" Sharon's tears fell freely, mixing shock, disbelief and relief. The girl who had been sold to poverty was now standing in a world of unimaginable wealth, soldiers, staff, and luxury cars. Her life had changed in just a few hours. Her luggage box felt suddenly tiny in her hands, and the dust and mud from her village life seemed a world away. She stumbled, staring at every corner. Servants bowed politely, holding silver trays of food and fresh clothes. The smell of roses, scented candles, and freshly baked bread filled the air. Is this real?" she whispered, her voice trembling. The old man, whom she now knew as Chief Williams, smiled kindly. "Relax, my daughter. You are safe now. Everything you see is yours to learn and understand." Sharon felt her legs go weak. She had never imagined such wealth. Her village life, scrubbing floors, fetching water, washing clothes, seemed like a different lifetime. Her hands still ached from yesterday, but here, no one expected her to work like that. Just then, a young man suddenly appeared from one of the hallways. Tall, handsome, dressed in a crisp suit, with eyes that seemed to pierce right into her soul, he smiled warmly. The old man smiled softly as Sharon stood there, confused and trembling. He stepped aside and pointed to the tall, handsome young man. My daughter, listen carefully," he said gently. "You are not getting married to me." Sharon blinked fast. "Sir, I don't understand." He chuckled and placed a hand on her shoulder. "You're getting married to my son." He turned fully to the young billionaire standing beside him. "Adrian," he said proudly, "meet Sharon Jackson, the young woman I brought home for you." Then he looked at Sharon again. "And Sharon, this is my real son, Adrian Williams." Adrian's warm smile met her shocked eyes. "Welcome home, Sharon," he said softly. "I've been waiting to meet you." Sharon blinked, unsure what to say. Her mind was spinning. "Wait, meet me? I don't understand." You are?" she stammered, staring at him. Adrian chuckled softly. "I know this is all a lot to take in. Father told me the right woman would accept him, even if he seemed poor. And it seems you have passed that test." Sharon's heart raced. "Passed a test? What kind of test?" Mr. Williams smiled. "I was testing you when I pleaded with you to help me fetch water for 3 days, which eventually made your stepmother decided to come up with the idea of selling you to me for a farm of yam." Before she could respond, a young housemaid approached with a silver tray. "Mistress Sharon, fresh clothes and a bath are prepared for you," she said, bowing politely. Sharon shook her head, overwhelmed. I don't know what to do." Adrian smiled reassuringly. "Take your time. No one expects you to understand everything today. You're safe here. Let's get you cleaned up first." The bath was unlike anything Sharon had ever seen. The water was warm, scented with roses. Soft towels were laid out for her. She felt her body relax for the first time in years. Afterward, she dressed in fine clothes provided by the staff. The fabrics were soft, the designs elegant, and she could hardly believe the reflection in the mirror. The girl staring back at her wasn't the same girl from yesterday. Her eyes were wide, sparkling with shock, wonder, and a hint of fear. Adrian appeared again, holding a folder. "Come, I want to show you around. There's a lot for you to see, and I want you to feel at home." Sharon followed him through the hallways, each room more magnificent than the last. A library with walls of books that reached the ceiling, a music room filled with instruments, a dining hall that could seat hundreds, and a garden with fountains, flowers, and peacocks roaming freely. I've never seen anything like this," she whispered, her voice barely audible. Adrian laughed softly. "I know it's a lot. Just take it one step at a time. All of this, is your new world, and I'll help you navigate it." As they walked, Sharon noticed small details, a portrait of the old man and a young Adrian, medals on the wall, and a secret room labelled Archives. Her curiosity grew, but Adrian guided her gently, not letting her wander too far. Why did you marry me?" Sharon finally asked, her voice shaky. Adrian stopped and looked at her, smiling kindly. "Because Father wanted a woman of character. He said the right woman would marry him, even if he looked poor. You passed that test." "Even though you did in tears. I had encountered different women. They were all heartbroken." Sharon felt tears prick her eyes again. All her struggles, her poverty, her stepmother's cruelty, it had led her here. But she also felt a strange fear. What if I fail the next test? What if this isn't real? The day passed in a blur of introductions and learning the mansion's routines. She met the staff, who bowed politely to her at every step. Soldiers stood guard silently, yet respectfully. Servants explained her rooms, her meals, and the schedule. By evening, she was exhausted, overwhelmed, and still in disbelief. But Adrian stayed with her, walking beside her through the garden as the sun set. "Tomorrow," he said softly, "you'll start to understand a little more. I'll be here to help you through everything. Don't be afraid." Sharon nodded, feeling a strange mixture of relief, awe, and fear. Her life had changed completely in less than a day. From a dusty village and cruel stepmother, she was now inside a world of luxury, power, and secrets she couldn't yet comprehend. As she lay in her new bedroom, staring at the chandelier above her, she whispered to herself, "One day, I will understand all of this. But for now, I just need to survive." A full month had passed since Sharon entered the Williams mansion, yet every morning still felt like a dream she had not fully woken up from. She had her own walk-in closet, her own balcony overlooking the city, and a driver who waited for her at the slightest call. But what shocked her the most was not the wealth. It was the way Adrian treated her. Gentle, patient, playful, protective. Every day he asked for her opinion. Every day he taught her something new. Every day he made her feel seen. That morning, as they prepared for work, Sharon was still trying to understand her new life. Adrian adjusted his cufflinks and smiled over at her. "Ready to see the company?" he asked. Sharon nodded quickly, trying to hide her nervous excitement. "I'm ready, I think." Adrian chuckled and offered his arm. "Then let's go, Mrs. Williams." Her whole body warmed. She still wasn't used to that name. A few minutes later, a convoy of luxury cars pulled into the giant glass building with Williams Global written boldly at the top. Workers at the entrance straightened up the moment they saw Adrian. "Good morning, sir." "Welcome, sir." "Welcome, ma'am." Sharon kept smiling shyly, her heart banging like a drum. Adrian led her into his personal office, huge, elegant, with tall glass windows overlooking the city. He tapped the intercom. "Someone should bring 2 cups of coffee," he said. "Right away, sir," the secretary replied. Sharon sat down, crossing her fingers, admiring the office like a child seeing a palace for the first time. Then a knock came on the door. "Come in," Adrian said. The door opened, and Sharon froze. Amanda, her stepmother's friend's daughter, the same girl who used to visit the village once in 3 months. The same girl who always stood in their sitting room saying, "Lagos life is sweet, oh, money is flowing. All these village people like Sharon can never survive where I am living." Amanda walked in with 2 cups of coffee, confident, proud, smiling, until her eyes landed on Sharon. Her mouth opened. Her hand shook. The tray nearly fell. Shh, Sharon?" Her voice cracked. Sharon looked straight at her, calm, gentle, elegant, wearing a dress worth more than Amanda's yearly salary. "Amanda," she said softly, "long time." Amanda blinked fast. Her brain could not calculate what she was seeing. She looked at Adrian, then Sharon, then the office, then back at Sharon. You work here?" Amanda finally whispered. Adrian looked up from his desk, confused. "Work here? She owns this company." Amanda gasped so loudly the tray rattled again. Sharon gave her a small smile. "Please drop the coffee, thank you." Amanda dropped it and almost ran out, her legs shaking. Before the elevator closed, she was already dialing her mother. "Mummy! Mummy! Sharon is in Lagos! She is rich! She's in a big office! She is with one billionaire! I don't know what is happening." The gossip fire started instantly. In 2 days, the entire village was vibrating with gist. Hey, come in here. "Oh, do you know Sharon is not married to that old poor man?" "Ha! Stop lying. I'm telling you, she is with one billionaire in Lagos. Ah, God has done it for her. Which kind luck be this?" The gist spread from the market to the church, to the cassava farm, to the old men playing draft under the mango tree. Within hours, it reached Sharon's stepmother. Sharon's stepmother was washing clothes when she heard 2 women whispering behind her fence. "Ehen, they say Sharon is now a madam in Lagos. Her husband is not an old man, oh, he's a billionaire. They say she day enter convoy." Sharon's stepmother dropped the bucket. Her hands trembled. What did you just say?" she asked. The women turned. "Ah, you never hear? Your stepdaughter is living inside mansion." The stepmother's eyes widened in horror. You mean the same Sharon I sold for one small piece of farmland is now in wealth?" She staggered. She held her chest. She almost fainted. "Jesus, my life is finished," she screamed. Villagers rushed to hold her. "Shayna joke? No be joko. Sharon is enjoying, and you sold her." The stepmother burst into tears, shaking her head. No, this cannot be happening. The girl I mistreated, the girl I used like rag, is now rich." She collapsed on the ground, crying and wailing as the villagers watched. Meanwhile, back in Lagos, Sharon was sitting beside Adrian in his office, learning how to sign documents, completely unaware that her name was turning her entire village upside down, and this was only the beginning. 2 days after the village gossip exploded, the Williams mansion received an unexpected group of visitors. The security guards at the gate frowned as they saw a dusty old tricycle stop in front of the golden gates. Inside it was Sharon's stepmother, sweating, breathing heavily, wrapped in faded old ankara. Beside her sat 2 village elders, her partners in drama, fanning themselves with palm leaves. "Open this gate!" the stepmother shouted. "We came for our daughter. We cannot be kept outside." The guards exchanged looks. "Madam, do you have an appointment?" The stepmother hissed loudly. "Appointee? Appointment? Is Sharon not my daughter? Open the gate before I turn this place upside down." The guards sighed. But before they could respond, Adrian's father, Chief Williams, was walking toward the entrance after a meeting. The guards bowed. "Sir, these people say they are here to see Madam Sharon." Chief Williams raised a brow. "Sharon? Who are they?" The stepmother ran forward immediately, almost kneeling on the floor. "My in-law! My in-law!" She grabbed the air dramatically. "We came to discuss marriage rights. Your family did not marry Sharon properly." The elders nodded aggressively. "Yes, Chief, you people must come and do the proper ceremony. You disguised as a poor man. You deceived us." Chief Williams stared at them, confused at first. Then he chuckled. Then the chuckle became a full laugh. Everyone paused. He folded his arms. "Madam," he said calmly, "you are the one who begged me to take Sharon. Remember?" The stepmother blinked fast. Chief Williams continued, "When you heard in the village that I needed a wife, and when you knew your stepdaughter helped me fetch water, you begged me to buy her." The elders looked at her sharply. "You bought her?" The stepmother stammered. "Ah!" "Chief, don't say it like that." But Chief Williams kept going, smiling boldly. "I told you I had no money, yet you insisted on taking my only farmland. I agreed because Sharon was the only one who passed my test. I investigated her and I knew she would make a good wife for my son." The stepmother gasped, while one of the elders said, "You mean you didn't only marry her, you bought her?" Chief Williams nodded proudly. "Yes, and I have evidence. Signed by you," pointing at the stepmother. The elders' mouths dropped open. Stepmother suddenly stood up, raising her voice so loud that even the guards looked away. "I won't leave without my stepdaughter. You people are rich. You must pay us properly today." She faced Chief Williams boldly. "You must be ready to pay any amount I ask for." Adrian had been watching quietly from the doorway. He smiled lazily, pulled out his phone, and dialed a number. "Hello, officer? Yes, I have someone here trying to extort the Williams family." The elders heard the word police and jumped to their feet immediately. "Ah! Madam! Please, oh! We did not know this is the matter. You did not tell us you sold the girl." They grabbed their walking sticks. "Please meet us in the village. After all, we were not informed when you were doing your secret business." And just like that, they ran out of the compound like goats chased by rain. Meanwhile, the stepmother dropped her knees, wailing dramatically. "In-law, please don't call police. Treat me as her family. I will make amends. How can Sharon be in the city enjoying money while I am in the village suffering?" Nobody answered. Not Adrian, not Chief Williams, not even the security guards. She cried louder, tears mixed with dust on her face. She tried begging again, but they simply walked away and ordered the guards, "Escort her out." With shame covering her like a blanket, she was led back to the gate. She kept shouting, "Sharon, Sharon, come and save me!" But Sharon was inside the mansion, putting things in order for the motherless home she needs to visit that day. As the gate closed behind the stepmother, she wiped her tears and hissed loudly, "This is not the end. I must enter this mansion by fire or by force." She climbed back into the tricycle and left, humiliated, exposed, yet more determined than ever. Months turned to a year, and the fire of shame that burned in Sharon's stepmother never stopped. Every morning she woke up, regret greeted her before the sun did. She would sit outside her house thinking about the farmland she once collected from Chief Williams, the same farmland she later lost because she couldn't maintain it. Sometimes she would whisper to herself, "If only I knew. If only I treated that girl well. If only I didn't sell her like goat." The villagers never helped her forget. Each time someone returned from Lagos, the story came again. "Ha! Sharon is shining! Her husband bought her a new car. She travels around the world. She's living in a mansion." The stepmother would hide her face with her wrapper, but the shame never left. Her friends stopped visiting. Even the elders who followed her to the mansion now mocked her behind her back. She became lonely, quiet, a shadow of the loud, proud woman she once was. Sometimes late at night she would cry openly, "God, forgive me, I was wicked to that girl, Sharon, my daughter. Forgive me." But far away in Lagos, Sharon's life bloomed like a garden in rainy season. The mansion became her home. Adrian became her peace. Chief Williams became the father she wished she had all her life. She travelled, studied, learned new things, and joined Adrian in the company. Her closet was filled with elegant clothes. Her days were filled with laughter. Her nights were filled with love and comfort. Sometimes she would sit on her balcony watching the lights of the city and whisper, "God changed my story." But even with all her joy, she never forgot where she came from. After a long time, Sharon decided to visit her stepmother once a year. Not often, not too close, just enough to show she had forgiven, but not enough to reopen old wounds. The first visit, the entire village gathered like a festival. Her stepmother knelt down, crying like a baby. "Sharon, my daughter, forgive me. I wronged you. I know I did." Sharon lifted her up gently. "It's okay. I am fine now. I hold no grudge." She gave her money. She bought her foodstuff. She sent clothes. She fixed her leaking roof. But she made one thing clear. "Mommy, you will always be okay. I will always help you. But please, do not come to the city. My life there is peaceful and I want to keep it that way." The stepmother nodded quickly, wiping her tears. "I understand. I will never disturb you. I just thank you for not abandoning me." So every year, Sharon would arrive in the village in quiet convoy, greet the elders, give gifts, hug her stepmother and leave at nightfall. Her stepmother always cried as she left. "See how they treat like nothing." And when she went back inside her little house, she would shake her head and sigh deeply. "One thing I have learned, never mistreat a child. You don't know who they will become." Meanwhile, Sharon returned to her mansion, her husband, her joy, her blessed life, knowing that she had survived the worst and risen higher than anyone expected. Her story ended not with bitterness, but with grace, forgiveness, and a life transformed. Hello, besties. What a journey we just watched, from pain to power, from rejection to royalty, from being sold like nothing to becoming a queen in a mansion. Besties, Sharon's story reminds us of one thing: never look down on anybody. God can lift a nobody into a place nobody imagined. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and tell me in the comment section. Besties, God will change my story too. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next shocking drama and powerful life lesson coming your way. Besties, thank you for watching, and I love you all. See you in the next episode.